Let's start the interview now. Tell me about yourself.
Hello, my name is Kim. I'm in my 30s and currently working for a large corporation. I majored in economics, and I have a deep interest in finance and business. I'm married and have a lovely daughter. In my free time, I enjoy going to coffee shops, reading books, and traveling. Recently, I've been studying engineering to expand my knowledge. I'm also working on improving my English skills, which is why I'm taking this OPIC test today.
Can you tell me about where you live and describe the chores that you and your family members are responsible for? How do you divide the responsibilities at home?
I live in a high-rise apartment in a busy city. The area is very convenient because there are many shops, restaurants, and parks nearby. Public transportation is also easily accessible, which makes commuting to work very convenient. Our apartment has 3 bedrooms, a living room, and a kitchen, and we have a nice view of the city from our balcony. Since both my wife and I work full-time, we try to divide household chores as fairly as possible. In the morning, I usually help prepare breakfast and pack my daughter's lunch. After coming home from work, I take out the trash, do the dishes, and clean the living room. My wife is mainly responsible for cooking and laundry, but we help each other when needed. We also take turns looking after our daughter. On weekdays, I usually spend time with her in the evening by reading books or playing together. On weekends, we clean the house together and go grocery shopping as a family. My daughter is still young, but we encourage her to help with small tasks, like putting away her toys. I believe that dividing chores fairly is important because it helps us manage our time better and keeps our home life balanced. Even though housework can sometimes feel tiring, sharing the responsibilities makes it much easier and more enjoyable.
What were your childhood experiences with household chores like? Describe the chores you were assigned and your feelings about them.
When I was a child, my parents believed that doing household chores was an important way to learn responsibility. They assigned me simple tasks that were appropriate for my age. For example, I had to clean my room, put away my toys, and help set the table before meals. Sometimes, I also had to take out the trash or water the plants. At first, I didn't really enjoy doing chores because they felt like extra work. I preferred playing outside or watching TV instead. However, over time, I got used to them and started to see the benefits. Cleaning my room regularly helped me stay organized, and setting the table made me feel like I was contributing to the family. One chore I particularly disliked was taking out the trash, especially in the winter. It was cold outside, and I didn't like the smell, but my parents always encouraged me by saying that every family member should help out. Looking back, I think these small responsibilities helped me develop good habits and become more independent. Now, as an adult, I appreciate what my parents taught me through those experiences.
You've indicated that you like to go to coffee shops. Tell me about the cafes or coffee houses in your community. Please describe it in detail.
There are many coffee shops in my neighborhood, ranging from large franchise cafes to small, independent coffee houses. Each of them has a unique atmosphere and style, making it easy to find a place that suits my mood. One of my favorite cafes is a small, locally owned coffee shop just a few blocks from my apartment. It has a cozy and quiet atmosphere, with soft lighting and comfortable seating. The interior is decorated with wooden furniture and plants, giving it a warm and relaxing vibe. The walls are lined with bookshelves, so customers can read while enjoying their drinks. The cafe serves a variety of drinks, including espresso, cappuccino, and specialty lattes. My favorite is their caramel latte, which has the perfect balance of sweetness and coffee flavor. They also offer freshly baked pastries, such as croissants and scones, which go well with their drinks. One thing I love about this cafe is that it plays soft jazz music in the background, creating a peaceful and enjoyable environment. It's a great place to relax, work on my laptop, or catch up with friends. Since it's not too crowded, I often go there on weekends to unwind with a good book and a cup of coffee.
Tell me about a memorable experience you have had at a coffee shop. When and where was it? Who were you with? What happened? Talk about the experience in detail.
One of my most memorable experiences at a coffee shop happened about a year ago. It was a small, cozy cafe near my office, and I went there with an old friend whom I hadn't seen in years. We had been close in college but lost touch after graduating due to our busy schedules. That day, we decided to meet at this cafe because it had a quiet atmosphere and comfortable seating. The cafe was beautifully decorated with wooden furniture, warm lighting, and soft jazz music playing in the background. I ordered my usual caramel latte, while my friend got an Americano. As soon as we started talking, it felt like no time had passed at all. We shared updates about our lives, careers, and families. We also reminisced about our college days, laughing about funny memories and talking about our old classmates. The conversation flowed so naturally that we didn't even realize how much time had passed. What made this experience so memorable was the feeling of reconnecting with an old friend. In today's busy world, it's not easy to find time to meet people from the past. That day, we promised to stay in touch and meet more often. It was a heartwarming and meaningful experience that reminded me of the importance of friendships.
Let's talk about the first coffee shop you went to. What was special about that place? Why did you decide to go to the cafe for the first time?
The first coffee shop I ever went to was a popular franchise cafe near my high school. I still remember the experience clearly because it felt exciting and new at the time. I was in my final year of high school, and I went there with a few classmates to study for our exams. What made this cafe special was its modern and cozy atmosphere. The interior had large windows that let in plenty of natural light, and the seating was comfortable. There was also a bookshelf filled with magazines and novels, so it had a relaxing and intellectual vibe. The smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, making it feel warm and inviting. Since it was my first time in a cafe, I wasn't sure what to order. I didn't drink coffee back then, so I decided to try a hot chocolate instead. It was sweet and creamy, and I enjoyed it while chatting with my friends. We spent hours there, reviewing our notes and helping each other with difficult subjects. That first visit to a coffee shop was a memorable experience because it was more than just about the drinks. It was a place where I bonded with my friends and felt independent. Since then, going to cafes has become a regular part of my life, whether for studying, working, or simply relaxing.
How do you recycle at home? When and how often do you recycle? Describe each step of the process from beginning to end.
At home, we make sure to separate and recycle different types of waste properly. In our apartment complex, there are designated recycling bins for paper, plastic, glass, and food waste, so we follow a specific process to recycle efficiently. First, we separate the trash into different categories. Paper waste includes newspapers, magazines, and cardboard boxes. Plastic waste includes empty bottles, containers, and packaging materials. Glass bottles and metal cans are also separated. Food waste, such as fruit peels and leftovers, goes into a special bin. Once everything is sorted, we rinse out plastic bottles, glass containers, and cans to remove any remaining food or liquid. This step is important because dirty recyclables can contaminate other items, making them unsuitable for recycling. After that, we remove any non-recyclable parts, such as plastic labels or metal caps from bottles. Some plastic items have a recycling number, so we check the labels to see if they are recyclable. We take out the recyclables once or twice a week, depending on how much waste we accumulate. In our apartment, there is a designated recycling area where we place each type of waste in the correct bin. The food waste bin has a specific collection schedule, so we make sure to dispose of it on the right days. Recycling has become a habit in our household, and we try to be as responsible as possible. Even though it requires some effort, we believe that recycling is important for protecting the environment and reducing waste.
When you were a child, how did you do recycling? What kinds of things did you recycle, and who showed you how to do it?
When I was a child, recycling was much simpler than it is today. At home, my parents taught me the basics of recycling, and I followed their example. We didn't have as many recycling bins or strict rules, but we still separated waste into different categories. One of the main things we recycled was paper. My parents would collect newspapers, magazines, and old notebooks, and we would bundle them together with string before placing them in a designated recycling bin. We also saved used printer paper and cardboard boxes for recycling. Plastic bottles and glass containers were also recycled, but we didn't rinse them as thoroughly as we do now. We would just remove the caps and place the bottles in a separate bin. My parents also made sure to return empty glass bottles to local stores, where they could be reused or properly processed. Another common practice was reusing items before throwing them away. For example, we used old jars as storage containers and repurposed plastic bags instead of buying new ones. My parents always reminded me that recycling wasn't just about separating waste, it was also about reducing and reusing whenever possible. Looking back, I appreciate how my parents taught me to be mindful of waste. Their simple but effective habits helped me develop a sense of environmental responsibility, which I still carry with me today.
You will be going on a trip next month, so you will need to make some travel arrangements. Contact the travel agency in order to ask 3 to 4 questions to gather the information necessary in order to plan your trip.
Hello, I'm planning a trip next month and I need some information before making my arrangements. I have a few questions. Do you have any package tours to Tokyo? If so, what is included in the package, such as hotel accommodations, transportation, and guided tours? What are the available flight options? I'd like to know about the airlines, departure times, and whether there are direct flights. Are there any discounts or promotions available? I'd like to check if there are any special deals for early reservations or group bookings. Can I customize my itinerary? I'm particularly interested in visiting Mount Fuji and some hot springs. Would it be possible to add these to the package? I'd appreciate your help, and I'd love to hear any recommendations you have for my trip. Thank you.
Imagine you purchased a non-refundable ticket but cannot travel on the planned date due to personal reasons. Call the travel agency to explain your situation. What would you say to request a solution or alternative options?
Hello, this is Kim, and I recently purchased a non-refundable ticket for my trip. Unfortunately, due to personal reasons, I won't be able to travel on the planned date. I understand that the ticket is non-refundable, but I wanted to check if there are any options available for me. I have a few questions regarding possible alternatives. Is it possible to change the travel date by paying a rescheduling fee? Can I transfer the ticket to someone else, such as a family member or a friend? Are there any credits or vouchers available that I could use for future travel? I'd really appreciate any flexibility or assistance you can provide. Please let me know what options are available. Thank you for your help.
Can you tell me about a trip where you had an unexpected, surprising, or unforgettable experience? What made it so memorable and unique for you?
One of the most unforgettable trips I've ever had was my visit to Jeju Island last year. I had planned a relaxing trip with my family, hoping to enjoy the beautiful beaches, fresh seafood, and scenic landscapes. However, something completely unexpected happened, which made the trip even more special. On the second day of our trip, we planned to visit a famous beach, but suddenly, the weather changed. Dark clouds covered the sky, and it started pouring rain. Since we couldn't enjoy the beach, we had to change our plans. While looking for an alternative, we found a small cafe on a hill with an amazing ocean view. The cafe had a cozy, warm atmosphere with large windows facing the sea. As we sipped our coffee and watched the heavy rain hit the ocean, it felt incredibly peaceful. My daughter was excited to see the raindrops racing down the window, and we spent hours just relaxing, talking, and enjoying the moment. What made this experience so memorable was the unexpected change of plans. Initially, I was disappointed that we couldn't go to the beach, but in the end, we created a unique and beautiful memory together as a family. It reminded me that sometimes, the best moments in life come from the things we don't plan.
How has the way you use your phone changed from the past to now? Describe the differences in how you used your phone before and how you use it today.
In the past, I used my phone mainly for making calls and sending text messages. Back then, phones had small screens and physical keypads, so their functions were quite limited. I would occasionally use my phone as an alarm clock or to listen to music, but that was about it. However, today, my phone has become an essential part of my daily life, and I use it for much more than just communication. Thanks to smartphones, I can now browse the internet, check emails, and use various apps for work and entertainment.
What made this experience unique or memorable for you?
Instead of carrying a separate camera, I use my phone to take high-quality photos and videos. Another major change is how I use my phone for navigation. In the past, I had to rely on paper maps or ask for directions, but now, I can easily find my way using GPS apps. I also use my phone for mobile banking, online shopping, and even studying. Overall, my phone has transformed from a simple communication device to an all-in-one tool that helps me with almost everything. While it has made life more convenient, I try to manage my screen time to avoid becoming too dependent on it.
Can you think of any recent issue or news you came across on your phone that left a strong impression on you? What was it about, and why was it memorable?
Recently, I read an article on my phone about the rapid advancements in artificial intelligence and its impact on the job market. The article discussed how AI is being integrated into various industries, including finance, healthcare, and manufacturing. It explained that while AI can improve efficiency and reduce costs, it may also replace many traditional jobs, leading to concerns about job security. What made this news particularly memorable was a story about a company that replaced customer service representatives with AI chatbots. The company reported significant cost savings, but many employees lost their jobs. This made me realize how quickly technology is evolving and how important it is to adapt to these changes. The article also emphasized the need for continuous learning and acquiring new skills to stay competitive in the job market. It made me reflect on my own career and the importance of staying updated with new technologies. Overall, this news left a strong impression on me because it highlighted both the opportunities and challenges that come with technological advancements. It reminded me that while AI can bring great benefits, we must also be prepared for the changes it brings to our lives and careers.